Connect to your hips. Hold your hips. Feel the bones of your hips. So the hips are a ball and socket joint. This is important to understand because it's the movement in the hip joint. So ball and socket means it can move forward, back, side to side. So just use your chair or a wall and just draw a couple of circles in front of your body. Just see how that feels. So this kind of movement keeps our hip joint healthy and flexible, but also lubricated because we have synovial fluid in our joints that gets released with gentle repetitive movement. Reverse. And then think of your bottom leg really balancing. Press down through your bottom foot, lengthen up and out of your waist. Okay, so let's try a circle in the back. So stay on this side. See if you can draw a circle behind you. It's a little bit different. You'll feel your glute muscle working back there. Okay, now we're going to put it together. So I call this a figure 8. Draw a circle in the front and a circle behind in the opposite direction. Do whatever feels good. You don't have to do it like this, but just think of moving your leg in your hip socket in that full range of motion. Make sure you're breathing. And feel the work of all those stabilizing muscles around your hip. Let's do that one more time. All right, so come to mountain for a moment. Close your eyes and feel the energy moving around that hip that you just worked. Take a deep breath. Give your legs a little shake. Let's do that to the other side. So we'll start with just circles in the front. Stand tall on your supporting leg. Draw slow circles with your thigh in the front of your body. Move slow. You don't want to swing the leg because then you'll miss all those little angles. Think of controlling the circle. One more. Reverse. Think about that supporting leg really being strong and grounded. Last time. Let's try a circle behind. Take a second, give it a little shake. All right, so now we do a circle behind. Think of drawing a circle with your thigh, but behind your body. And now you'll feel your back of your hip working. Reverse. Okay, let's try the figure 8. Draw a circle in the front and a circle behind. Or do what feels good for your hip joint. Check in with your breathing, noticing that this is cardio. We're standing on one leg for a minute or so. Notice how that raises your heart rate. Keep breathing. We got one more to go. And then let's come to standing. If you need to shake or move, that's always an option. And then when you're ready, stand tall in your mountain and feel the energy moving around your hips. Let's do our slow roll down. Start with your head dropping down first. Let your arms dangle. Bend your knees and take your time rolling all the way down as far as you feel comfortable.
Engage your core. Let's roll up slowly. Try to resist the urge to lift your head. Just let your head hang until you're all the way up.
Take your time coming back if you're still rolling up. And then once you're back, feel all that space you created in your body. Take a deep breath. Okay, so now we're going to do a hip opener sitting in your chair. So I think everyone has a chair, but I'll show another version just in case you don't have a chair. We do this hip stretch on the floor all the time, but it's really nice to do in a chair. It kind of takes away from some of the other limitations so that we can really focus on the hips. Okay, so come away from your chair. So you're not slouched back, but you can't even feel the back of your chair. And then you're gonna lift let's start with your left side. So I'm a mirror view. You're gonna lift your left side up and down a few times. Take some deep breath. And then we're gonna hold it up and circle. So if you're not sitting in a chair, you can lay on your back and do this with your knee into your chest. And reverse. Give it a little shake. We're gonna cross that foot over your knee. So just look at your ankle. So you don't want it to be like sagging like this. You wanna cross so that this is pretty straight, okay? So take a moment, lengthen your spine, reach your arms up. So this sometimes is enough and you can really feel it in that left glute. If you want more, start to bend forward. You can reach your arms in front towards the floor, or you could hold your leg and your foot and drop your head. Deep breaths. If you need more, you can even slide the hands down towards the bottom shin. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. Let's come back slow. Start to lift your upper body. Take a moment, release your legs, sit back, and just pause and feel the energy moving through that left hip. Take a deep breath. Let's try the other side. So you'll move away from the back of your chair, hold behind your right leg or your second side, and pulse. You could hold in front of your knee or behind your knee. Last time. Great. Let's circle that foot around a few times. Great, and then we're gonna get ready to stretch the right hip. So check your alignment with your ankle, lengthen your spine, reach up, inhale. Exhale, come to a place that feels good. So you come a little bit or a lot, see what this side needs. Good job. Let's come back slow. Release your leg. And then just sit back for a moment in your chair and notice the energy moving through the hips. I want to show you one more pose in your chair. So these are little stretches that you could do throughout the day maybe. So that last one only took us a couple minutes. This one would take like 30 seconds. We're going to do a chair roll down, I call it. So have your feet nice and wide because we're going to hang upside down. So same as we did when we were standing, start to roll your chin to your chest. Eventually you'll come halfway or all the way down. Make sure you're not going to fall out of your chair. And then using gravity to just hang and stretch out your back.
One more breath. Stay upside down, but walk your hands to your knees, but keep your head upside down for a moment. Push down through your hands, engage your core, and slowly start to roll your spine up.
Take your time if you're still coming back, and then when you're back, bring your legs in and just sit for a moment. And take a deep breath. Refocus your eyes and let's get moving. Come on up to standing. You can get rid of your chair. And let's do our twists that we usually start with and feel the new space that you created in your hips. Really bend your knees and let your hips turn. Go from one foot to the other. Last two and one. Slow it down. Come back to your center. Warrior two. You're going to face the long side of your mat and open up your body nice and wide. Think of decompressing your arms, your legs, your spine. Take a deep breath. Let's try warrior two. Bring your arms out in line with your shoulders. Turn your right toes out so that your right heel is in line with your back arch. Bend your right knee. When you look down, you want to see that that knee is right over your ankle and you can see your big toe. If your knee is dropping in and you can't see your big toe, just adjust until it's right for you. And then core in, tailbone down, stretch your arms and look to the right. Let's hold here. If you want to work harder, go deeper. If you want to make it easier, come on up a little. Listen to your body. It's all beneficial. Just go as far as you feel good today. Look forward, release, point your toe forward. As you do point your toe forward, reach your arms up over your head. Clasp your hands and stretch straight up. Try a side stretch here. Really push into your opposite foot. Take a breath. Press down through your feet. Inhale, come up. Exhale over to the other side. Press into your feet. Center. Burst your arms open, warrior two to the left. Turn your left toes out. Bend your left knee. Check your alignment. You want to see your big toe. Feel the hip opening through the inner thighs. Look to the left when you feel all set up. Nice work. Come on back. Both toes point forward. Let's do the same thing. Reach up over your head. Lengthen, interlace your hands. Up and over to one side. Press into your feet. Inhale to come up, strong through your core. Exhale to the other side. On your inhale, come up. We're going to get ready for a wide leg forward bend. You can always bend your knees a little here. Release your arms, dive down. Try to come through a flat back as long as you can. And then when you can't do flat back, let your back soften, look through your legs. If that's not possible, no worries. Grab your chair, reset, and just bring your hands to your chair. Yeah? Let's breathe it out here. Hip flexors are next. Bend your knees, lift your head a little. We're gonna pivot to one side. Turn to one side. Bring your knee to the floor. You have a few options. So the low lunge, you could have your hands down and sink your hips down. You could balance. It's gonna feel a little different for that hip flexor. You could reach up if you wanna do the full pose. You could add a back bend and look up. So see what feels good for the front of your hips. That's our theme today. And you want to feel space through the core. Look at one point. Slowly release. We're going to try our first downward dog. Release back to all fours. Try a plank if you're up for it. Engage your core. Eventually downward dog. Move in any way that feels good. Stretch out your legs and your back. Release. Let's set up your second side. You're going to step your other foot forward and we're going to find that lunge that you did on the first side. So try to match what you did if your arms were up or down or all the way down. See what feels good for that hip flexor. One more breath. Good job. Slowly release. Let's try child pose this time. Sit back towards your heels. Your knees could be apart or together. I feel more comfortable with my knees apart, but everyone's a little bit different. And then you can have your arms up or down. See what feels good. Breathe into your back. Slowly release. And we're going to transition onto our sit bones for some inner thigh, inner hip stretching. The butterfly or bound angle. So you're going to have your soles of your feet together. You could sit on something here. Sometimes it's helpful to have a little bit of height. You could try that. If you're quite flexible, just go ahead and fold right forward. If you're like me and your knees are way up here, we have tight hips and that's okay. And we just have to sit and wait for them to drop or something in between. You can also push your knees down. So let's drop into silence, come into your own pose, focus on yourself. One more breath. Let's slowly come back. Once you're neutral, you're going to give yourself a hug, seated child pose. Bring your knees in close, round and drop your head. Send yourself some positive thoughts. Release. Stretch out your legs. Twist. So we're going to do our twist a little different. Usually we cross the leg over. Today we're going to have the foot on the inside, which sometimes can be a bit more challenging, but a challenge is fun. So the more challenging, if you want it more challenging, you would bring your foot up really close. If you want a little easier, move your foot down. So I'll go somewhere in between. So first, just twist your hips a little bit. So your hips start the twist towards that bent knee. So my pelvis is a little bit on an angle. My hips are twisted. Then lengthen your spine. Your opposite hand is on your knee. This hand is going to come behind to help. So we never want to kind of round and lean back. That's going to injure our lower back. So use this arm like a second support for your spine. And then gently twist through the tummy, the ribs, the chest, the shoulders, the neck. Let's breathe into the back. Because, you know, our lungs are a little bit compressed in our diaphragm at the front. Think of bringing your breath into the back of your body. We always want to come out of twist really slow. Take your time. And then just hug that knee with both hands. Realign your hips and your back. And feel the effects of the twist. Release. Shake it out. Let's go to the other side. So find that right distance. You'll know if your foot's too close, you're not going to be able to straighten up. So just adjust, be honest with yourself. Lengthen. Start with the hips first. So twist a little through the pelvis towards that knee. And then start to twist your tummy, your ribs, your shoulders, your neck. Breathe into your back. Keep your spine long. Use this back arm to lengthen. Very slowly start to come back. Straighten out and hold your knee. Release. Give it a little shake. Seated forward bend. So you're going to have your feet about hip width apart, or you could go wider if you want. Try to sit up nice and tall. If you have a yoga strap, you could use it around your feet, or you could use your hands like this. Or if you want more of a challenge, reach up and fold forward. Try not to compress your lower back. So compressing your lower back would be like this. These vertebrae are being squished. We want to move at the hips, all that work that we did today. So if your body isn't doing that, you would be honest with yourself and you would stay right here until that part of your body opens. And it takes many years. It's a fun journey. Okay, so I'll be quiet. Tune into your stretch. Let's breathe. Let's come back nice and slow, especially if you're deeply forward, bend forward, just slowly, slowly come back. Great, give it a little shake. And then we're going to use your core to lower onto your back. So you'll scoot forward a little bit. Extend your arms, round your back, slowly come back. Stretch out. Let out a yawn. Open your arms wide out to your sides with your palms up. Bend your knees so your feet are as wide as your mat. Straighten out your back. Side to side, windshield wipers. Sway your knees side to side, massaging the back of your hips. Breathe. Try to exhale as you twist. Inhale as you reset. One more time each way. Realign in the center. Draw your knees into your chest. We're getting ready for meditation. Do whatever feels good before you meditate. If you want to stretch out in any way. If there were any other movements I didn't do, if you want to shake it off. And then eventually you're going to lay flat, or you could sit for a meditation.